I didn't know I got kidnapped. I, a 22-year-old female, was out to the club for the first time on my 21st birthday with my sister and a few friends. Last I remember, I was on my second drink and dancing with a girl I met that night.
It was supposed to be a night of celebration, but it turned into something unimaginable.
Next thing I know, I'm waking up at my sister's, and it's 3 p.m. the next day. I was so confused and was also in a different shirt than what I went out in.
The confusion was just the beginning of a series of unsettling discoveries.
After going to the bathroom, I realize my underwear is on backwards under my pants, and I have light bruises on my legs and the back of my arms.
These small but alarming signs hinted at something far more sinister.
I wake everyone up and they're all pissed, thinking I just disappeared last night.
We were so worried, we had no idea where you went.
Yeah, we thought you just left without saying anything.
The reactions from friends and family were filled with worry and frustration, unaware of the true horror of what had happened.
Apparently, they were searching for me for hours and filed a missing persons report. The police found me at 9 a.m., miles away in an abandoned house with 2 guys. They said they took good care of me, and I told the cops I was good and there by choice. I don't remember a second of any of this and immediately was terrified.
The police involvement marked a crucial turn in the incident, shedding light on the circumstances in which the protagonist was found.
I went to the hospital and got the kit done, drug testing and preventative medication.
My friend had to give another police report.
Eventually, the hospital sent me to the SVU and I had to give a statement. The police station told me the same thing. They told me processing takes a while and I'll hear back.
The SVU officers were thorough, ensuring every detail was documented.
The process was grueling, but necessary to piece together the events of that night.
I've made several phone calls and there's been no update or information, and it's been over a year now. I'm open to comments and questions.
The lack of updates has been a source of ongoing frustration and uncertainty for the protagonist.
Getting this off my chest? Edit. I'm not sure why people are saying this is made up or why I care to explain myself, but I posted the story twice, a long and short version. I posted the full story 2 months ago and it wasn't viewed at all. So I posted a short version because I assume nobody saw the first one because of how long it was. Obviously this one left out a lot of details and perhaps it wasn't an official missing persons. But my sister contacted the police after not knowing where I was. They came out and took statements from my sister and friends and set out patrol. Hours later my phone turned back on and the police were able to come to my location. Again, I have no recollection. This is all what I've been told. When the police pulled up to the house, the 2 guys were standing out front with me and told them that I was all good. And I told the police I went with them by choice and was fine. I'm unsure if they got statements from them or ID because, again, when I've gone to the police station, both in the town I was taken from and where I was found, they say everything is still processing and I have to be in contact with the SVU. And when I went there, I was told that these things take a while to process and they will be in touch. I'm finally coming to terms with realizing I'm not going to get answers. I've realized that probably nothing is going to come of this. But I found a place I felt safe to at least get it out of my head, and people say I made it up. Thank you to everyone else for your kind words, support and advice. My parents died 14 weeks ago and now I'm raising my little brother and I don't think I can cope much longer. This post is mainly to vent. I just need to get this all out there. I have no one to talk to. About 14 weeks ago, both my parents died unexpectedly. I wasn't close to them, but it still really hurt. My little brother Henry is 11 and there was no one else who could care for him. I obviously didn't want him going into the foster system, so I took him in. I'm 23, I just graduated university and had my first proper job lined up, which I had to quit before I even started because I couldn't care for him, grieve and work. I know that sounds stupid, and looking back, I think I was stupid, but I wasn't doing it out of laziness. I just couldn't cope.
The protagonist reflects on her relationship with her parents and the guilt she feels.
I wasn't super close with my parents. They were hardcore Christians, very traditional, and we just never really got on that well. They thought I was lazy and a huge disappointment because I failed uni twice, because I never went to church, and because they found weed in my bedroom when I was 16. They had no issue with letting me know that I was their biggest disappointment, so I avoided seeing them as much as possible. I feel guilty for that now because they're gone. And by proxy, I wasn't that close with Henry either. Henry has been homeschooled his entire life. He doesn't have any friends who weren't part of my parents' church group. So, I don't know why I'm struggling so much with him living with me.
The protagonist is puzzled by her difficulties in adjusting to her new role as a caregiver.
In some ways, my parents really babied him, and in others, they expected too much. For example, he still co-slept with them and had a 6 p.m. bedtime. They would only let him watch TV shows and movies made for babies and really young children. He wasn't even allowed the real Lego blocks and had to have those big ones you give to toddlers. Yet he was expected to do almost all the chores around the house. He didn't even know that this stuff was abnormal, but I suppose you wouldn't. A lot of this I didn't even know about. They did some of it with me as I was growing up, but from what he says, it sounds like they got a lot worse in recent years.
The protagonist sheds light on the contrasting ways her parents treated Henry, revealing the complexity of his upbringing.
I think I'm messing him up. I'm just such a bad carer for him. He does everything he can. I know our parents made him do a lot of chores around the house, but I told him while he's settling, he doesn't need to do anything, and we can think about chores in a few months or so. But even though I told him, he will still randomly clean the house, do the laundry, wash the dishes, whatever. Even though I say to him he doesn't need to, he still does it. That's what type of kid he is. He is so sweet and kind, and I am so worried I'm going to ruin him. I don't want him to turn out like a disappointment like I have. Yesterday I woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. I heard him crying in his room. I didn't know what to do. I asked him if he was okay and he said he was. But he had a dream our parents came back and it upset him. I know what my parents would have done to me if I was crying. They would have locked me in my bedroom until I had stopped. I wasn't going to do that, but I didn't know how to comfort him. I went and sat on his bed and I was trying so hard not to cry myself. He put his head on my lap and he said he was sorry, and I tried to tell him he didn't need to be sorry. He asked if he could sleep in my room with me. I have always said no before, but I said he could for the one night. But I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I just feel like I'm always second-guessing myself. I'm so worried I'm going to screw him up. I'm not able to be a good parent. I don't think that is inside me. But I don't want him going into foster care. I would hate myself if that happened. I just don't want to ruin him. If you read this, thank you. I got caught stealing baby clothes. I'm 29 weeks pregnant tomorrow. I've been out of work for a few weeks now and won't be able to return to work until after I give birth. It's taken a toll on my finances. I've been panicking, trying to get everything that I need for my baby, and I just don't have enough money for everything right now.
The weight of financial stress adds to the already overwhelming situation, making every day a struggle.
I feel horrible and I'm completely embarrassed and ashamed of myself. I don't know what I was thinking. Edit. Thank you all so much for the advice on where to look for cheap or free baby items. The compassion that most of you have is amazing. I want to make it clear that I don't think what I did was okay by any means. I was not fired from my job. I was put on medical leave due to a high-risk pregnancy, and my job does not offer compensation during extended medical leave. I am in the process of applying for disability benefits, as well as WIC and food stamps, but it's taking a bit longer than I had hoped. I'm definitely going to look into all of the resources that everyone has suggested. I also want to say thank you especially to the parents that have offered to send me some of their old baby clothes. It means the world to me that there are so many kind strangers out there willing to help me. To the people who think I shouldn't have a baby and think that I'm a horrible person, I did not intentionally get pregnant. I never had the intention of becoming pregnant until I was 100% financially prepared. Accidents happen. I personally could not bring myself to abort my baby. I am finishing college this semester and have plans to get a much better paying job as soon as my maternity leave is over. Until then, money is just really tight for me. I'm trying my best. I made a mistake. I already beat myself up enough over not being able to give my baby the world, And honestly, there's nothing worse y'all could say to me than what I've already said to myself.